Does anyone have anything to work on?
I do have a quick question.
Go for it.
What do you guys use to does it help you design the GUIs?
Which is
I'm like looking around, I'm like, I don't see anything really that great, but I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something.
well, and there's the what's it called? The frame,
Uh,
Irfan?
the the tool from the Alchemist, I
Well,
think.
no, I'm just saying there's the like when you're building a website, it's a mock-up of how the GUI is gonna look. That's
Right.
where we start,
Yeah,
right?
it's basically what I want to do. I'm like, I'm not worried about the plumbing behind it.
Yeah,
I want it to
exactly.
look this way and then put the
Yeah.
plumbing.
The wireframes is what in the websites, that's what they call it, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But
that's right. Yeah.
Irfan, just do a quick demo because and I think we have a video on it. But you don't need a video. Like we can show you in a couple seconds of the ins and outs of it.
Okay.
We use it as a free tool. Like there's no cost, and it does. You can pay for it. And there's another one that does a lot more, but the free version does so much. You can share your screen, Irfan?
Yeah. Let me open the mockup.
So this is where anything beyond a very simple thing, we say, hey, let's go create a mock-up of it. So also because usually it's Irfan and I or Isaias and I or someone talking, we can both be looking at the same thing and say, no, 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 I want this more over there, and it doesn't take, you're not building stuff in AutoHotkey or any tool.
Right, right.
I think it should.
What is that? MOQUPS?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just trying. The font's a little small on the screen. That's all. Yeah.
So I have two projects in there, and I have multiple GUIs been there. So what we do here, so we type window here, and we select window, start with window, and then we start putting text in there for labels. So these are the title. You can use this as a label. You can double click and change it.
Right.
And then you can choose the edit field, put it in here, put name in there. And we have drop down list. So we put drop down something like that. So drop down like this. Yeah, I put drop down in here. And then I build an arrow. So what this drop down gonna contain in here,
Right.
like that. And I can also use like this as well. But these are the menus. So I can use this for tray menus, AutoHotkey menus. I can hit delete to get deleted. So this is the drop down list for this control. So we create kind of mockups here, and then we start building the GUI, but we do not design on AutoHotkey because when we create first control, so we do not type position for the next control. We can just use a dynamic coordination. So this is the first control, but this will do X plus M. And
Using it as a reference, the first one you're using as a reference and everything is coming off of that. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, so we always build our GUIs dynamically. So whenever anything changes, it contains a shape. And when we want to add some control, we do not change all the X and Y's position because now we have like relation with each control and we can just put anything in the middle. So for example, let me just build something here. So test.hk, this UI GUI and UI.text. Sorry, add text. For example, I do not do any coordinates in here, just put the tab. So username, and this is just text. Now I want to put edit control. So that edit will have, for example, X plus M. So now I can change my margin here. So margin X. So that margin will be used. So I will use this margin plus M. So plus margin. So margin I can, so I'm not setting it. And here it would be like, yeah, Irfan. That should be string. And then I can do, okay. So UI dot add dot text, for example, XM. So it will create a new line and then do a password. And then I repeat it myself. So just I want to here put password and yeah, some name. And then I can just show UI.show. Okay, so now I have to add a size in here, set font. So normal size is 12. So
Zoom in a little, Irfan. Thank you. That's fine.
let me make it like 18, so it will grow bigger. And then I would do control width should be like 200, for example, and then I would do just for controls. So I would do W and paste here, and then I would do the same for the text width, and I can do 150. So here and here I would do W and paste something in here, and I can for the safe side I would put XM in here, so it is all the first control is start with the new line. Okay, so when I run this and I can make it, so let me just show you. So now they are not aligned, but I can align them by just putting it here, right in here. So it would be right aligned, and the password should contain a colon. So now you
And there's two S's in password, but no one cares.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's just
so, yeah, password. And for example, I just want to put another control. So as something else in so for example, in the top, I would just copy it and just give it a name. So group, and yeah, group A, and this is not a password, just a little bit change and it just put in there, and just I can move it to the end and it will just work fine. So I do not have to
Yeah.
like change X and Y position. So you can see that
it's
it's
working
good.
from the relative position.
Yeah, relative position. And then I can do for group box. So group box are also like I use them a lot. So add group
Yeah,
box.
they definitely help tie things together.
Right.
I don't like, I'm sorry, I don't like the implementation of the group box in here because the X and Y coordinates of the group box kind of like messes with the next ones.
Mm.
You will see what he has to do. He has to kind of like
I
do
have to
some sort of,
section.
not only that, is beside the section, it's just like you have to push the next one 10
Okay, so
pixels to the right. You know what I mean?
yeah, I have to create a section. So I have to do XP plus
Yeah, XP plus
YP
for plus
20.
25.
Create
It
a
has to be 25 actually. So it is XP plus 10 and YP plus 25. It's
And
kind of
every
like the
time
normal
I have
margin.
XS, and then I have
Right.
to do a width, like width is kind of 200, 350. So I would do 380, and the height would be maybe 300, and the
I
group
usually
box.
go with rows right now. I don't know. With the rows, it's kind of like faster, but the height has more control. You have more
Well,
precise control.
And help me, let's say I went back on line 8 and changed it to size 14 font. Which one would do a better job adjusting for that?
The rows.
Okay. And that to me is why I would go with one over the other, because
Right.
now,
So
can you go back? Sorry, Isaias. I'm sorry, Isaias. The question was more, Dave was asking about where do we develop them in the first place, like mockups, right?
Yeah, not
Can you go back
yeah.
can you, Irfan, go back to mockups? Because what I was going to say, David, and they taught you some great stuff here, but what
Yeah.
I was going to say is what I would do is come in here, draw this like you've done, take a screenshot, give it to AI,
That's what I was exactly
And
thinking
tell it-
already.
tell it, and not just
That's
tell
what
it
I was
that.
just thinking. I just need a good place to design it where it looks pretty much the way I
Right.
want, and give
Right.
it to
Yeah.
Claude and say, "Hey, write me the mock-up for this in AHK."
And this is what I was saying is keep use relative positions of the thing. So if I choose to move them around, right, we can incorporate some of the concepts that Irfan was showing
Yeah.
in the prompt, so it doesn't just give you the coordinates. Now, what I love about AI is, let's say you do decide to move things around, you can go back to the original mockup, move it, and say, "Hey, go recreate it again." Right?
Right.
It's not as
Right.
painful as manually changing the code in AutoHotkey, which can be really painful.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, because it made me a mock-up of something. I just said I need these kind of things, and it made up. I'm like, that needs to be more pretty, because
Yeah.
I'm like, I can right now it's utilitarian, so I can use it.
Yeah.
But I'm going forward in the project. I want it to make it. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. But I've told it, "Hey, that looks kind of weird. Can you make it better looking?" And it's like, "Oh, you're right. These things aren't lined up and whatever." And it
Let
goes
me-
and does it. Yeah, it's
If you're at any point thinking about moving on to something that looks a little bit prettier, I would suggest doing it in HTML and CSS,
Well-
because right now there is a library, if I remember right. I think GigDude was the one who shared it recently
yeah. But
with the WebView 2 or something, right?
but you can't mention that without mentioning. Make sure you check your programming skill level, right? Because it's a very
No. What I meant is with using AI, because AI is really good at creating
Oh, you're
it just still it's much
HTML, right?
yeah. It just I'm not knocking what you're saying, Isaiah. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
anytime you start switching outside of that, now you have to be including your libraries and make sure if you're sharing it with other
No,
people.
of
it just
course,
makes it more
of
complicated, right? But because Isaiah and I have talked about how what we should do, what he just mentioned was
Right.
read it our library and then have it do it in HTML and adapt it to the WebView 2 class.
Right.
right.
Irfan, I'm not talking about that one. That's the one from Tigbee, but that's not the one that I'm referring to. GeekDude actually shared a different one that I found to be a little bit easier, if I remember right. Yeah, that one. So, but
Actually,
think-
he is using a GigDude's library, but he's simplifying the methods.
exactly. Something like that.
So that one there
Oh,
is.
so what you're saying,
doing
he's
it-
using GitHub's, sorry, Tigsbee's library, is what you're saying. Okay.
So that's doing it in HTML and then converting it into AutoHotkey.
It allows you to create an HTML page. By the way, just to let you know, AutoHotkey has been forever, since the beginning, allowed you to use an active X control and display HTML. The one problem with it was whenever you click on buttons or need to interact with the HTML and your AutoHotkey script, it was a little bit clunky. You had to know a little bit, you have to have a very deep knowledge of how HTML and how AutoHotkey worked. Then when the WebView 2 control came, they made it so that we could capture the events of the website. So when you click on a button, you could activate code in AutoHotkey. A little bit simpler. Still, you needed to know a little bit more. Now, the last library that I'm mentioning, the WebView 2, was the one that, in my opinion, made it so simple that even if you have no idea about how AutoHotkey handles the events, the examples that he provided are very simple to just capture the clicks. And mainly what you want are the clicks and the text in many control.
That's pretty much what I want. It's just
Yeah, it's just like I put some text in one box and I click a button. I just want to react to that. So if you can do it in HTML, that is kind of like is way more flexible, and also, and that's the reason why I mentioned it, because as you mentioned that you wanted to kind of like work with AI. AI usually does a pretty good job at building HTML stuff because there are so many examples of it, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I mentioned it. But Joe is right. This is not like I could just tell you, oh, you're a beginner in AutoHotkey? Yeah, use that library. I don't think that goes that way, right?
No.
I was just mentioning it because of the AI.
Right. So what is it called? WebView, you said? The library?
So WebView 2.
I put the link.
I just need to do something to search for. That's all. You said web.
I put it in the hero group.
Okay.
All right. This is an example of that. Yeah. Cool.
So we are using AutoHotkey to talk to the AI. So yeah, tell me something.
Yeah, so this is
yeah.
using the WebView 2 library to display HTML. And then we were interacting with it just got too complicated, so we never actually shared it.
Right, but this is an example of how your interface might look completely different than the AutoHotkey controls that you're used to. Does that make sense?
Oh,
yeah.
One of the biggest critiques of AutoHotkey GUIs is how they look. They look dated.
They're very old, very
but
old.
they're also crazy,
they're
also crazy reliable, right? So and I'm not saying this isn't reliable. I'm just saying that's why we still use them, is like they've been tested in so many systems for so many years. It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean,
so in any case, for simple tools that you just want to get something done really quickly, AutoHotkey GUIs are the best. If you just want something else more,
especially, well, to clarify, like you started off kind of saying that if you're the one that's going to run it, you're not sharing with other people, you can absolutely make it look better organized and easier to use. But other people, if you're selling a tool, they might look at it as like, oh my God, like, hey, are you from the past? Like maybe you should join up in this century. But yeah, still, now we also, by the way, we were looking at either Irfan or Isaias to show mock-ups real quick, just because it was an interesting idea we had, and we decided not to go that route. But we were working on a way to say, hey, in mock-ups, here is my element, because when you go to export this or save it, we saw there's like a JSON string with all the info. And we're like, we could write a converter that would actually build the thing in AutoHotkey, right? Like, but with AI,
I remember that. Yeah.
And then we said AI was doing so much. We're like, you know what? AI is just going to negate the need for all of that. But it was a really interesting idea.
You know what? That brings up a very interesting topic, at least to me. Like, for example, we are now, a while back, we had many different ways of doing the same thing. So if something broke, then you just use the different way. But now I think we're kind of like converging into AI. Like AI is going to do X or Y. And then in the end, what's going to happen is that if AI breaks, everything breaks. You know what I mean?
But hold on, I'm not disagreeing with that, as because it is risky.
Yeah.
What if there's an EMP or whatever, and we lose all our people have no knowledge, right?
There's bigger problems than that.
Yeah, that might be interesting, but I do want to circle back as this, because there's a very, and I don't think you were implying this. There's a big difference between saying we're going to always go to AI, and AI is actually running it, versus AI generating code that we take from AI, and now we have it on the computer and we don't need AI to use it, right?
Okay, well, there is a difference there. Yeah, okay, I definitely agree.
Yeah,
but what you meant is we were creating a tool that we were saying, hey, let's have it kind of like translate one thing to the other. And then we said, AI is going to do that, but you're not the only one doing that. A lot of people I'm not going to build this tool because AI can do that. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of tools that are disappearing just because we're saying AI will do it. But then one day, okay, AI got hacked, like something like that. Yeah, what is
outlawed.
going to happen?
Let's
Like
say it's
a
outlawed.
lot of tools are going to go down, but
Yeah.
I'm not implying that that's in the future. Right now, we have the same exact
Sure.
problem.
What
Like we
happens-
had the same issue with
Yeah.
CloudStrike, for example, that
Right.
half of the world went blank just from a
Which is
second
my-
core.
My
Yeah.
point of when we get something that we take it out of that environment, we still have it local in our computers. You know,
Right.
it's not as risky, right?
Right.
There's
And
still
that's what I
risk
meant.
because someone
Just
needs to know
like-
how to edit it, right?
Yeah. And then the point that I wanted to make is don't say I will not build it just because AI could do it better, because you don't know when
Yeah.
you might need it and AI cannot do it. You know what I mean?
I mean, you can
just
build a
build the
tool
tools.
to make the GUI, and you have it. You can help the
Yeah,
AI,
now you
the
have
AI
it
help you
yourself.
make the tool to do the
Yes.
GUI, and then you have the code. You don't need the AI later on. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because you already
That's
have the
the
code.
best. I think that's the best approach. You use
I was
AI
just thinking about
to
that. I'm
help you
like,
build.
well, yeah, have the AI help you build the tool, so you don't need the AI in the future
Right.
to do your
Yeah,
thing.
And
Exactly.
we on the tools we create, it's a delicate balance of how much do we want to let AI do versus how much can we programmatically solve? And because AI still isn't entirely predictable, right? And it will hallucinate and stuff and this and that. So we will use AI to make decisions usually, but when we're actually doing actions, we will often put that in, you know, we have AutoHotkey code that just says AI is going to make, it's the brain, but AutoHotkey is the hand, so to speak, right? It's doing the work. At least that's
Right.
how a lot of our stuff is done now. Not all, but we do a lot that way until we get it really where it doesn't hallucinate. And it's also cheaper. I mean, not that there's a big cost, but doing it, having it do everything, sending all the screenshots to it and back, it could add up.